The following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Delmarva Salutes, a show covering Salisbury's military and veteran communities. I'm Stephen Graves.
And I'm Tal Carmel. Although finding work can be difficult for returning veterans, some are finding jobs that are well suited for the skills they acquired while deployed.
Volunteering as a firefighter for over 2 decades, Fire Captain John David Black has moved up through the ranks. Delmarva Salutes reporter Kristen Wolf tells us Black's passion for serving his country and his community is still very strong.
Fire Captain John David Black believes in service. He's one of a dozen volunteer firefighters at the Station 16 Salisbury Fire Department who served in the military. Black says he's still passionate about helping people and fighting fires.
It's in my lifeblood. I'm the 4th generation in the fire service in my family, and I like helping the public. So the drive is there, and I've continued to do it my entire life.
Black estimates the city of Salisbury received 12,000 calls last year. He says 60% of those went to his station. Black's military experience comes in handy around the station. He assists the fire chief in dealing with governmental red tape.
I am the chief's resident expert on military questions regarding employment to make sure he's within the guidelines.
Volunteer firefighters work at least 35 hours a month at the station and must attend at least 1 training session per month, in addition to other mandatory meetings.
Just like in the military, you go through basic training. As a firefighter, you go through basic training. And as you go through your specialized training, you gain different ranks, you gain different specialties.
Volunteer firefighter Tyler White says Black inspires him to stay committed to the organization so he too will one day lead.
He's a role model as far as what I want to be in the future when I go through the ranks. In my eyes, he's a leader.
As captain, Black's next promotional step will be running his own station as fire chief. In Salisbury, I'm Kristen Wolf reporting.
During his years as a firefighter, Black has been awarded the Unit Citation, Bronze Star, Departmental Commendation, and Distinguished Service Awards.
During war, fighting the enemy is done on many fronts besides direct combat. Delmarva Salutes reporter Tyler Freeman introduces us to a man who fought a secret war in Vietnam under many names.
Here at Salisbury University, Professor Thomas Jones is known as just that, Dr. Jones. But during his time overseas, it wasn't the same story or the same name.
Well, I was civilian ID as Tom Jacoby, and I was a GS-9, Government Service 9 employee looking at diseases of rice crops. Because my undergraduate degree was in botany, it was easy for me to speak the language of being a plant pathologist to study diseases of rice crops.
Jones wasn't just undercover as Tom Jacoby while in Vietnam. He also served as Lieutenant Jackson while training Cambodian soldiers.
When I went out in the field, I went out as a Special Forces Lieutenant in the 5th Special Forces, Tom Jackson. My job was to train him in combat river crossings. Now, my real job was to get to know these guys and try to find some that I thought would spy for us.
Jones retired from the military in 1995 and began his administrative career at Salisbury in 1996. In 2006, Jones helped reestablish the ROTC program, which was absent for nearly a decade.
But in 2008, they restarted the program, and Major Keene and Cat Mingelman were 2 of the original members working with Dr. Thomas Jones. It provides an option for students that want to do the military. I mean, that's one good thing. Brings in scholarship money, gives students a way to pay for school that they normally wouldn't otherwise have.
No matter what name he goes by, Jones has made an impact both on campus and overseas. In Salisbury, this is Tyler Freeman reporting.
Always fighting each other.
Captain Sullivan credits Professor Jones' past efforts with the success of Salisbury University's current ROTC program.
As soldiers get reacquainted with life back at home, one man is helping these new veterans through his local VFW post. Delmarva Salutes reporter Ricardo Bailey tells us about a local man whose leadership is getting national attention.
What we have here,
Howard Adams commands Salisbury's Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 194 on 821 East William Street. He sees his post as a haven for local veterans.
our motto is honoring the dead by helping the living. And this way I can come in and help people.
Adams coordinates social gatherings and events here at the post, but he says the post's main responsibility is to serve as a pillar in the community.
Every day I get letters from different people needing money and everything. I designate money to different people. Here at this post, last year we donated $98,000 to different charities.
The post has been around for a long time. Post 194 helped local veterans of World War I cope with some of the homecoming issues many soldiers today are dealing with.
Stand there having problems with that post-traumatic stress. There's a lot of them that hasn't sought help. And that's why there's so much suicides and stuff going on. But there's help for all veterans.
Providing help is exactly what Adams has done for veterans here in Salisbury, becoming one of the most decorated post commanders in Post 194 history.
Howard was an All-American Post Commander last year. That's one of the top honors you can get in the VFW.
Adams in Post 194 will host its annual Crab Feast, Saturday, October 26th, where dozens of residents come out to support all members who are veterans. In Salisbury, I'm Ricardo Bailey, reporting.
Commander Adams has led the VFW post for the past 6 years.
When we return, we'll introduce you to a motorcycle club that may challenge your stereotypes of biker gangs.
And we'll tell you of one former soldier who is putting his wartime experiences in the rearview mirror. When Delmarva Salutes continues. Stay with us.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
For some, motorcycle organizations tend to have a bad reputation. Delmarva Salutes reporter Jacob Mathias tells us about one biker gang that challenges that view by dedicating themselves to our nation's fallen heroes.
The VFW of Delmar hosts regular meetings of the Hogs and Heroes Foundation, a biker foundation that supports our military, police, firefighters, and veterans.
We support all first responders. Our main mission is to take care of the children of fallen firefighters, police officers, and military members.
Hogs and Heroes meet regularly at the Hooters in West Ocean City to fundraise a worthy cause.
What we do is we pick an organization each month. Right now it's running on a monthly basis that we'll do like 4 weeks for, and all that money goes towards that organization.
Zeppy Stafford manages the West Ocean City Hooters.
Through us doing a bike night, we formed a relationship with them, and basically every Friday night since the beginning of the summer, they come in and they have a cause that they're trying to raise money for.
When they're not raising money, they're packing boxes for the troops for Operation We Care.
This time we're estimating we'll be packing and shipping 700 packages to the troops. The postage for that alone will be over $10,000.
The Hogs and Heroes Foundation has grown to over 700 members, but the need for new members is always there. So far this year, the Hogs and Heroes Foundation have raised over $10,000. If interested in joining, visit their website at hogsheroesfoundation.com. In Delmar, I'm Jacob Mathias reporting.
The Hogs and Heroes Foundation's next mission for Operation We Care is on November 17th at the Sharptown Fire Department.
Veterans returning from active duty with PTSD struggle to find ways to overcome their illness. Delmarva Salutes reporter Ray Becker tells us about one veteran who has found a way to make peace with his tough past.
It's a brisk Sunday morning in Columbia, Maryland. Race Pace Bicycle Shop has not yet opened its doors, yet a group of dedicated bike riders meet in its desolate parking lot. For some of these riders, the Sunday morning ride is therapy after a hard week at work. But for former Army Specialist E4 Will Pater, it's therapy of a different kind. Pater was an accomplished member of the Army until an ankle injury threatened to end his military career. He later returned as a private government contractor, only to fall victim to an improvised explosive device, or IED.
I was over there for 6 months embedded with 4th ID, and we rolled into Iraq together. I was one of the first vehicles that was hit with an IED.
Salisbury therapist Andrea Travis Ward treats patients with anxiety issues. She says getting out and getting moving is an excellent step to overcoming traumatic events.
Exercise overall just gives you a better sense of well-being and health, and so there really wouldn't be anything negative about participating in a club that had any kind of exercise.
Pater says his bike is one thing that he can rely on to take him away from his troubles and provide some clarity.
I can go on a bike and just get out and go, and it's my freedom, so it lets me kind of just go out and think and clear my head.
Pater says for him, a sense of community is what the Sunday morning rides with his friends are all about. That sense of community is what drew him to a life in the military, and it is also what allows him to leave parts of that life behind. In Columbia, Maryland, I'm Ray Becker, reporting.
The riding season for the Race Pace group is winding down, but they say they'll pick up where they left off next spring.
When we return, we'll tell you about a program that is sending love and, more importantly, hope to active soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan.
That and more when Delmarva Salutes continues. Stay with us.
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Veterans will tell you there's nothing like a care package from home to keep morale high among soldiers serving overseas. Delmarva Salutes reporter Jake Stevens caught up with the founder of one organization that's currently preparing its holiday shipments to our troops.
Minuteman Press owner Jeff Merritt feels a little package with a lot of love is just what our soldiers need to keep the morale high while away on duty.
You're halfway around the world away from your family and friends, it can get pretty lonely. So when you get some mail from home from somebody you don't know, it definitely lifts your spirits up.
The packages are put together as part of Operation We Care. Organizers like Merritt collect, sort, pack, and send care packages to U.S. troops at war. The items inside the packages all come from school kids, local residents, and area businesses.
It's grown quite a bit every year. It just seems to magnify thanks to the support that we get from the community. A lot of people wanting to step up and help out in various different ways.
There are 22 collection centers around Delmarva. This one is at One Fish, Two Fish on Eastern Shore Drive in Salisbury.
We do get a little bit here and there, not as much as I'd like to see.
Merritt sees organizing programs like Operation We Care as his duty, a different way to serve his country.
We just have this project so that we can show the support for the men and women that protect our freedom.
Organizers say people donate whatever they can, their time, materials, or money. Since Operation We Care is a nonprofit organization, some of your donations may be tax deductible. In Salisbury, I'm Jake Stevens reporting.
Connell colonel says he appreciates people's generosity, but says there's a never-ending need for volunteers to assemble the hundreds of boxes that are packed and shipped.
Reinventing one's career after 20 years in the military provides veterans with an opportunity at a second chance. Delmarva Salutes reporter Brianna Charlton met one veteran whose second career involves breathing new life into old buildings, giving them a second chance.
After 23 years of service, former Lieutenant Colonel Bill Hayes says he has the military to thank for setting up his business.
My last assignment in the Army was Professor of Military Science at Loyola and Towson University. I was going to continue and be a shop teacher after that, but I elected not to do that. So I started my own company.
Hayes and his wife Cindy are owner of Handy Hayes, a home improvement and remodeling company that specializes in bringing old kitchens and bathrooms back to life.
I really enjoy seeing the finished product. You go into old kitchens and old bathrooms, and we take pictures, and then 2 weeks later, it's transformed into something really, really nice.
Elizabeth Kane Bolin, the executive director at the Ocean Pines Chamber of Commerce, says that Handy Hayes is one of the highest referred companies in their chamber, and not only for their skill, but for their personalities as well.
I know that Bill has come into our chamber here and helped us out with different things on his own, just on his, out of the goodness of his heart.
The couple has come full circle, leaving Ocean Pines in 1982 and returning years later to retire and give back to the place they call home.
We left here with the plan to join the Army and turn around and come here after we did it because we liked all the things having to do with Ocean Pines.
The Hayes have lived in 13 different locations from Germany to Hawaii, but they still say that nothing compares to the feeling of home. In Ocean Pines, I'm Brianna Charlton reporting.
Handy Hayes is located in Ocean Pines and serves the entire Delmarva Peninsula. And that's Delmarva Salutes for now. I'm Stephen Graves.
And I'm Tal Carmel. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.